Hey, Computech students, Mr. Vincent here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, once you finish your SketchUp cell, we're going to be starting to work on another piece of SketchUp. However, this time the goal is to use one of the pieces of equipment here in my mini classroom. In this case, our 60-watt Epilogue laser. Now, in case you're unfamiliar, the way our laser works is there's a carbon dioxide laser inside this machine that emits a really strong burst of light that actually can cut through various materials. And in this case, your product that you're making is going to be cut on a piece of wood very much like this. Thin, but strong. Now, two-dimensional items, you might think, well, that doesn't really have a purpose, but in fact, many of them do. For example, if you take these two pieces, these made on the laser, fit together, and now you've got a nice little stand. It's amazing what you can do with just two-dimensional pieces. I've actually seen people stack them up and do all sorts of crazy things, but for this first project that we're going to be making on our laser, it's going to be simple. It's going to be a drawn game piece. I found this in my kids' Chutes and Ladders game. It's a girl on a little stand. And what you're going to be doing is finding an object, outlining it, and we're going to cut them on the laser cutter and get a whole bunch of little game pieces so that we can start to decorate this crazy office that I have here with your work. I can't wait. Thank you for joining us. All right. Well, what's happening now is I've actually got open on my computer Sketchup, and Sketchup's what we're going to be using for this particular project. And specifically, we're going to be using lots of two-dimensional drawing tools. And this isn't the final video, this is the first video. And so I'm going to show you how to set it up, the basic pretense of what we're looking for here, and let us actually start working on our project. I can't wait. All right, so first thing we remember from all the other times we've been in my class is every document we do in SketchUp, we're using millimeters. So I'm going to click Create New Document in millimeters. As soon as I create it, I want to save it, because if I don't save it, I could lose work. Not necessarily the best thing. So up here at the top, I'm actually going to click right up there where it says Untitled. And when I click that, it's going to allow me to give it a name. Once I name my project and give it a home inside my Google Drive, what I can actually then do is just look up. And as soon as it says saved, I know that I've saved, and I can log off and go on another computer, or if something happened to this one, it would still be there. Saved, very important, okay? First thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to erase Temple. Goodbye, Temple. We don't know you at the moment. So what I'm doing next here is I'm going to find an inspiration image for my little piece. Now, we're only talking like, a couple inches big here. So it can't be something that's super detailed and intricate, but something that's going to be interesting to stand up and make a little game piece out of. And so what we're actually searching for here so that we can see the outline is something called a silhouette. A silhouette. Say that with me. Silhouette. Silhouette. All right. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go on to Google Images, and I'm going to actually search for what I'm looking for, and I'm going to search for silhouette, okay? That's how you spell it, S-I-L-H-O-U-E-T-T-E, silhouette. And then I'm going to search for what I'm looking for. Maybe I want a silhouette elephant, okay? And as soon as I do that, I can click Images, and I can start to see that there are lots of options. Now, I just want to point a couple things out, hopefully, that are pretty obvious. One is if you have a two-dimensional object, we want a two-dimensional looking picture. Sometimes when we search for silhouette, we get these crazy three-dimensional looking pictures. It's not going to cut well, okay? And so something like this, yes, you could absolutely add all that decoration onto your game piece, but it would take you a little while. For this first laser assignment, I'm looking for you to find something fairly basic. Okay, something that you feel confident that you can outline. All right. I actually like this one down here. And I'm not going to choose the actual tree. I'm just looking at this elephant right here on the right side of the page. I'm looking at the elephant right up there. Okay, so forget about the second elephant in the tree. I want this one. So what I'm going to do, the easiest way to do this, where you're guaranteed to get what you want, is with the snipping tool. And it's going to sound strange. It just works better. And so I'm going to open up the snipping tool, and I'm going to outline the elephant. I'm going to save the image. Just remember where you save it, please. And then I'm going to put it into my new Sketchup document. As a reminder from a previous lesson, the way we add these into the document, we click the 3 lines in the upper left. Then we go down to Insert. Once we're at Insert, I'm going to choose from my computer, and it's right there. I want to insert this as an image. If I choose a material, that would let me put this picture on something, like on a billboard, on a wall, on a cell, whatever we're working on. But if I choose image, I have the image. I can put it the size I want. I can then go over to my views panel, my scenes, and I can get the exact view. Okay, now what we're going to be doing is using a series of tools to trace this. And just like we did when we did the cell, the more zoomed in we are, the better it is going to end up. Okay, I'm going to start right here. This is kind of a curved piece, but there is an element of it here that's straight. And I'm going to say from there to there is a straight piece. Okay, I've got this little dangling line. I can just press escape on my keyboard. It's in the upper left corner of the screen, ESC, escape of the keyboard, not the screen, and it will make it go away. Anywhere I've got a straight piece, I'm going to use that tool because it makes it so much easier. If it's trying to clip to a certain spot, like this green line, if you zoom in, you can start to get more flexibility with where you're actually putting the line. Okay, just a little hint here. All I'm doing right now is getting some of the straight lines in. All right, once I've got the straight parts, then it comes to each curve to figure out what the best way to get that particular angle is, or that particular piece. One of the tools that you don't want to use unless you absolutely have to is the freehand tool, because the freehand tool is just based on your ability to accurately use your mouse. And so I'm doing this in the freehand tool. Of course, I could zoom in and do it better, but like, look how far off I already am. Now, in some cases, it doesn't matter, because if you delete it and take a look at what you made, it might not matter too much. Okay? If the freehand tool is not quite doing what you want, there are lots of other options. You can use arcs. Okay? Specifically, there's a unlocked plane, but there's a 3-point arc, a 2-point arc, and an arc. The 2-point arc works like this. You've got a spot here to here, and you can actually come up. You can see where I'm at there, that I've got a line. I realize it's kind of dark. I'm sorry. The 3-point arc is similar. I don't really have much on here that I'm going to do a 3-point arc on, but you can imagine what you could do with that, right? And so the last thing I'm going to show you here for this first video, as you try to go all the way around, is you can always click the image and press delete and see where you're at. But then right away, Control Z or click the back arrow, the undo, to go back and put it back. So this is in exactly the same spot. You want to do that right away. If the freehand tool is what you need to end up using and it's not looking good, the secret is zooming in. Okay? As soon as we zoom in and go back to that freehand tool, then what happens is we have a lot more control over what we're actually doing. Every time you let go, it's almost going to like save that part that you did and let you make a new line. It turns green when you meet the previous path, and then you can get your hand, aka the pan tool, and you can connect back up to where you were. I'm just going to go along, since there's lots of intricate details here. I think I'm going to use a straight line right there. I think it's going to make my life easier. Press escape, I'm going to come up out here and do this part also with that tool, and then I'm going to go back to the freehand, kind of connect it up to the endpoint. Okay, I'm going to fast forward right now. All right, so I got to right here. I don't particularly like this pointy end right here. So what I'm going to do is undo. I'm going to undo that last spot that I just did right here and redo that part. Now that I've gotten right here, you'll notice that I don't really have the elephant's feet, and that's okay, because if you look at the little person here from the Chutes and Ladders game, there's this little base that we're going to cut a different piece to make eventually as like a holder, and so it's not going to be a huge deal if you guess on the foot, because it's just going to go into another little piece there. And what I recommend you do in this case is try to figure out a flat line to make at the bottom, and everything else can go into that. And so I'm just going to make a line that's going to be kind of help hold the elephant up, if you will. And so I'm going to continue and fast forward, finishing the outline of my elephant. You might be asking what happened here. Well, in Sketchup, what actually happens when you connect a bunch of lines together, it creates a piece. And so I don't want that there, so I'm just going to delete it. What I'm doing now, I'm just selecting any extra pieces that I might have made over and above the edge, just to get rid of them to clean up my document. I've got my outline of my elephant, which is the end of step 1. Now I know that's a really long step. If you get it outlined and you're not happy with it, save it, make a new document, and try again with a different picture. What you're going to find is every time you do this, you're going to get better and better and better. And it's going to be one of those skills that you're going to learn which tool to go to. You're going to be able to go back and forth between the different tools seamlessly, and it's really going to help your ability to basically to get where you need to be with this skill. So thanks again for watching, students. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and as always, reach out with the chat window if you're having any questions.